that every action that I take, every word that I speak, every thought that I have comes from, and he's the source of all of it. Why? Because that is what he says about himself. The works that I do are not mine, but it's the Father that works in me. My words are not mine, but it's the Father's. And if we really want to know or be like him, which is the whole purpose of what he's doing, he's transforming us into his image, that's what we would learn to be through the Spirit in us. So no one can choose to be born by the power of your own will. No one. You cannot do that any more than a baby can choose to be born. You know, did you take that choice? You say, I'm going to be born? No. It's not up to you. It's not up to us. Where so many Christians and believers get confused over is that this new birth is preceded by a spiritual conception. Consider that just as a baby has to be conceived by the mother and the father, so one who is born again must first be conceived by God and God alone. God is the Spirit. He is the one giving you life. So we read in Ephesians 2:1, and you, meaning us, he made alive who were dead in trespasses and sins. In 2 Corinthians, Paul says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things have passed away. Remember, the old life, the old everything is gone. Behold, all things have become new. So ask yourself, if you believe that you have been born again, have you experienced this? All things, everything that you were, have passed away. Everything that you're doing now are new as a new creation. And in order for you to be a new creation, that means that Yeshua is in you, working through you. So that the works that you do are not yours, but He's working in you. Why? Because Paul says, now all things are of God. It doesn't say that all things are of you, of your will or your power or, flesh. All things are of God, who has reconciled us to himself through Jesus Christ. He is the one who bring us to him. We cannot go to him by the power of the will. I don't care what your rabbi or your preacher or your pastor says. It's not our choice. It is his and his alone, because we do not choose him, he chooses us.
There's one thing also with this born again situation, because I wasn't on to call too. There was times I went forward, I thought, I felt, this whole emotional situation that I need to go in the front. And I went, had people pray for me. And the concept of where I was at that time and what people were teaching was that once you go there, now you're saved, you're born again. It's almost as if they make you believe that it happens overnight.
Right.
But it doesn't. It's a process.
It's a process.
And even like when we look at in Genesis, when it says he created us in his image, right? Of course, that's the English word. But people think it's right then he created you in the image and you're in the image of God.
Right.
But it's a process to get you there,
yes.
right? Because I think it's creating you in the image.
Created, right.
The Hebrew word, right? Yes. So it's a process. It's not something that for most people is going to happen overnight. Right. Just like as you spoke about the baby's in the womb for about 9 months, 8 months, whatever you want to say. It's not straight after the baby, is going to be born the day after. The act or whatever of having a kid. There's a 9 months that you're going to be in darkness, and then there's an appointed time for you to be born from the Father, and then he brings you forth. The baby is in a state of complete, I would say, vulnerability to outside forces. The baby can't say, I'm going to be born now. Right. The baby is already in a structure where it's being fed. It's in a safe point of view where the mother for the most part, he's taking care of the baby to make sure, baby is safe and all of those things. And I think we need to start looking at these things. So Father has created things in a specific way with a specific pattern that's relating to the scriptures.
Yes.
So don't expect to be born again the night after you went for an altar call, like what I expected. And the next day I'm like, but I'm still thinking the same things. I'm still doing the same things, And then you become frustrated. You're like, am I really born again? Am I not born again? We have to have patience with the Father because it's His timing, not ours.
Right. And just like, remember, when a baby comes out of the womb, it's a baby. And a baby needs to grow up. And the way that you grow up is that you have to walk in the wilderness of this world, if you will. And it is through a lot of pain and a lot of tribulation that you will be taught, just like Yeshua went through. So whatever the head goes through, the body will follow, because we're one. So remember that a dead person cannot give life to himself. We were dead in trespasses. He made us alive, right? So it is He's doing the work. So being born again means that God, in His sovereignty and His grace and His love, gave us the grace to bring us down to our knees. Remember, so being born again has nothing to do with you deciding to go down the altar and say 10 seconds in a prayer because someone talked you into doing that. It has nothing to do with emotion. Here's the truth of how one is brought to God. And I pray that no one is offended for what I'm about to read. In Romans 9:16, we're told, so then it is not of him who wills, it is not of him who runs, but of God who shows mercy. Verse 18, therefore, he has mercy on whom he wills, and whom he wills, he, meaning God, hardens. Philippians 2:13, for it is God who works in you both to will and to do for his good pleasure. For most people, the idea that it is God doing all of this is just not possible, because they believe that it is me, who has to decide to do these things. It isn't. It is not. If God has mercy, He will show mercy. If God hardens your heart, there's nothing we can do that will prevent that, because there's no way that you can come to God by the power of your own will.